early. It's only 6:52 a.m. on a Saturday. Sorry, Sunday. And but I was having dreams and I was wearing my favorite shirt, which is Phuket. Um and it it just like inspired me to talk about, well, this brand really inspires me besides being very tongue in cheek. I love the fact that I love swearing, so I love wearing this shirt. But what this brand is all about, first and foremost, they have an organization that's helping with suicide awareness, and but the brand really talks about going all in. And I am like tossing around this concept, right, of going all in, and what prevents us from doing that. And so I wanted to just kind of chat about that. Um, so the first thing that I kind of identified, at least for myself, these are my experiences. Again, everybody's is a little bit different, but I cling to shreds of control. So, clinging to the parts and pieces that are ugly or uncomfortable or not serving us can sometimes feel more comfortable than doing something that's outside of our control. What we don't really recognize and really address is that the fact that even though they are comfortable, they are known, they're really not inside of our control. So we're just clinging to something ugly that doesn't really serve us, to make ourselves feel better, but it can still be taken away from us and things can still be flipped upside down and we're spinning out of control. So, my proponent with this is like, be in control of your out of control. Like, purposefully put yourself into um, open situations where you can experience more life, where you can go all in. What is it that you're working on? Like, obviously I have my business, so this really applies to my business, but this could be a hobby. Like my daughter in California is crocheting Mickey ears that are Halloween themed. Go all in on that. Like, whatever it might be, maybe it's a relationship that you've been on the fence about, and go all in. What is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen in any of these scenarios is that we're rejected. Just gonna happen anyways, in one way or another, in one corner of our life or another. So, and in the business, if I go all in and it doesn't work out, then it wasn't going to work out anyways. So at least I can sit with the knowledge that I did everything and I gave it my all. Whereas if I play small, I'm always going to wonder, what if I had made that decision? Um, what if I had done something differently? Would I have succeeded? And instead, I I didn't. And yes, I think that there is some reticence with financially here too, but I do believe that we can make what we claim for ourselves, in terms of, what am I trying to say here? How am I trying to say it in a more elegant way? It's just like manifestation, you know what I mean? Like, or um praying for something or whatever. Like, what is supposed to be ours will be given to us. And if you don't believe in neither of those things, I totally understand, but I still think that the universe as a whole, or these people that we live around, that we exchange energy and we exchange our lives. And if we're supposed to have it, it will happen to us unless we actively reject it, which is by not going all in, you're actively rejecting what could be yours. So hopefully that wasn't all preachy. That's not my intention. I'm just saying, like, leave yourself open for the opportunity of um, goodness, even if it makes you feel out of control. Um, because you can actually have more control by embracing the insecurity of the situation. Um, so the next thing was, we don't feel ready. And I love the TED Talk. It's quite aged at this point, but Mel Robbins did a TED Talk called Stop Screwing Yourself Over. And the premise of the TED Talk was stop being fine, like essentially, like the first point, like be exceptional, exceptionally bad, exceptionally good, be whatever you're going to be, but don't be fine. She also talks a lot about how you're never going to be ready. And we talk about that when it comes to maybe marriage or parenthood, but we don't talk about that when it comes to other parts of your life. And so you have to make a commitment and then you have to run with it. And there's two scenarios I want to run by you to illustrate this in my life. And the first scenario is I made a commitment to my husband, Ismael Gonzalez Guerrero, in May of 1998 to get married. I was only 19, barely the age of consent. But I made that commitment, and we decided really early on in our marriage that we were not going to ever put divorce on the table. That was basically a swear word, and that we had to figure it out because that was never an option. So what that did was it allowed us to rest easy in being able to work through the hard things because that was never a threat. Um, Somebody sleeping on the couch, totally a threat. Somebody getting yelled at, totally a threat. But the next day, are we still married? Yes, we're still married. We're happy. We've worked through the hills, the valleys, all of that. And it's not always easy, but we can rest in knowing that it's not going anywhere. So that level of commitment in your business, in your activities, in your volunteer organizations is so crucial for you to know I'm fully in or I'm fully out. And it doesn't matter if I'm ready because the tools that you need if you're fully in will come to you. And the tools that you need if you're fully out will come to you. Like they will mend their ways either way. So by being fully in my marriage, we can have an argument and there's no, I'm realizing I'm doing this a lot. Godfather reference. By being fully in the relationship, it gives us the freedom to express ourselves, sometimes a little too spicily, and do it in a way that we feel safe in our relationship and we can rest easy that conflict is okay. It's part of this, and we can move forward. The other example of this, as far as not feeling ready, is so a lot of you know that I'm fluent in Spanish, and I started learning in earnest when I was 15. I went to Mexico with my youth group, and I was like, fell in love with the country. I just like loved it. And we were volunteering with kids, and I just hated that I couldn't communicate with them. And so when I came back, I became a voracious learner of Spanish. I just wanted to know all of it all at once. And I did that in a lot of different ways. I read magazines, I watched telenovelas, I listened incessantly on repeat. I'm sorry to everyone around me from circa 1995 to 1997, but listen to Selena, Quintanilla, not Gomez. And I just really tried to learn the language. Well, there's this point when you're learning a language where you have to like leap a little bit. You know, like what people are saying basically, and you know a lot of words and you know some phrases. You have to start putting it together and practicing. And a lot of people can't get past that hump. And so I just decided, F it. I'm going all in. I'm going to make an ass out of myself. And like some of the stuff makes me want to cry, like how embarrassing it was that I made those mistakes. But I never said them again. You know what I mean? Like if I said something wrong, it was embarrassing. I never said it again. Or if I did, you know, I had loved ones around me that were like, actually, carrot is not sana odio, it's sana odia. You know what I mean? Like whatever it might be. Um, so you're never ever going to feel ready. You just have to do. You just have to step forward. You have to believe that the tools will come to you or the resources will come to you in order to fulfill that commitment to being all in. So, if you haven't watched Mel Robbins, Stop Screwing Yourself Over, I highly recommend that you do that. But do know that it takes commitment and willingness to accept the end result, whatever that may look like. Sometimes it works out fantastically in your regard, and sometimes it doesn't. But if you stick with it long enough, it does typically work out. Like now that was 1995. Guys, crap, that's like 26 years of speaking Spanish. Or whatever it is, it's something close to that. And because math and it's Sunday morning. Um, but that was a commitment that I made to go all in on something that I loved. And I made so many mistakes and I made such an ass out of myself, but I was willing to do it because I was so committed to being fluent in Spanish. And am I perfect? No, I am not. But I have gone to Mexico by myself multiple times and talked with people from very different backgrounds and been able to function just fine. And I'm often complimented. This is not me tooting my own horn, but I'm often complimented on my Spanish. And so I know it's not perfect, but I know that I can listen without translating in my head and I can speak to people who are native speakers. So you're never going to feel ready. You just have to make the commitment. Sorry, I don't know why that made me so emotional, except for it's something that really goes with this topic. My last point is we often don't go all in because we don't believe that someone will catch us if we jump. Sorry. Take a sip. Hold on. We often don't believe that someone will catch us if we jump. And that's a lie. It may not be who you think it's going to be, and it might even be yourself. Because you can rely on yourself more than you think you can. And F it. But a lot of times, if you take a chance and you actually jump, you actually go for it, this community of people that maybe they're a little envious that you're so willing to go all in, they're going to rally around you. Is it going to be pretty? Are you going to fall? 100% you're going to fall. Like you can count on that. You can control that. But you know what? 100% of all of these options, you're going to fall. So do you want to fall while you're flying? Or do you want to fall while you're just walking on the ground, carrying around something ugly? That's the difference. So I would just encourage you this morning to say, F it, I'm going all in, whatever that is this week for you. Find something, a theme or some appointments or a hobby or something that is calling you this week and just say, I'm all in. I'm, by the way, not responsible for impulse buying this week. And I should probably stay away from Gabsters. I'm just saying. But I just wanted to encourage you guys and say, it's okay to go all in, even if you are scared, even if you aren't sure what is going to happen. You need to know that you don't have any control of the end result, no matter what. So you might as well do it. Might as well jump when you're flying. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and a start of a new week, and I will catch you on the